Since the release of the iOS App Store back in 2008, no mobile game has been able to hold my attention like Arena of Valor. For those of you unfamiliar with the game, Arena of Valor is a mobile MOBA that, unlike its PC counterparts, has a focus on speed and ease of use. That's not to say this game couldn't hold its own against the likes of Dota 2 and League of Legends. It's just made for people that want to play it on the go. It's fast, intuitive, looks incredible, and most importantly, lives on the device that I touch about 10,000 times a day. For a mobile game, there really aren't too many reasons to spend actual money on here. And yeah, while there are the typical free-to-play mechanics such as hard currency, skins, new heroes, and the occasional loot box, you tend to get those for free by just playing the game. The game awards you with new characters while you progress through the first 3 levels via the Road to Glory, and offers a sufficient amount of characters to appeal to us that don't really want to spend any money. And while I know that Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman aren't available yet in America, I've played with them before at TwitchCon, and quite frankly, you don't really need them to enjoy the game. In fact, I don't feel like I'm missing them at all. One thing I really don't understand about this game and its characters is the fact that some of them look pretty familiar if you look a little bit closer. I mean, obviously that's Ciri, and that's Bayonetta, and hey, there's Soldier 76 right there. We'll just ignore that for right now. While there are a lot of characters that you have to pay for with hard currency or in-game gold that takes forever to earn, you tend to get some free for a limited time. On top of that, you also get characters in the form of trial cards. Trial cards give you access to a hero for 12 hours. Yeah, I never seem to get the ones I want, but on the plus side, I can trade them with other people in my guild, so that's cool, I guess. The guild mechanic in Arena of Valor is pretty cool to see in a mobile game. In-app, I can set up games with my friends, trade items, collectively earn weekly loot, and just talk. And while it's not the most important thing in the game, it's just a cool little feature. Communication is key in these games, and Arena of Valor doesn't skip in that area whatsoever. In addition to baked-in commands and a keyboard, you also have the option to use voice chat. I've only done this once before, and it's not something I would recommend doing with strangers, but the option's a pretty great feature, and if I was playing with people I knew, I would absolutely be using this. The game features in-app streaming, and while I'm not the type of person that streams games, I can definitely see a community really building around that. And it's also really cool seeing that on a mobile game. Speaking of community, Arena of Valor features a strict discipline policy in the form of a credibility score. You initially start with 100 points, but if you're away from the game, you log out too early, or you're just being an asshole, you can get knocked down those points. And if you go even less than that, eventually you can get banned from the game permanently. While I'm not the biggest fan of policing in games, it's pretty good knowing that when I report someone for being an asshole, they'll feel an actual repercussion. And so far this is reflected pretty positively on the player base. The game features 6 game types, but you're mostly going to be playing the 5v5 and occasionally the 1v1. While I've only had trouble getting into a handful of lesser played game types, my connection hasn't been much of an issue. I've managed to play a few games with only 1 bar of 4G, and that says a lot about the game on a technical level. Speaking of the application itself, Arena of Valor might be one of the most impressive looking mobile games around. The game runs at a solid 60 frames per second on my iPhone 8 Plus, and I haven't noticed any dips in the frame rate during even the most chaotic moments. While it doesn't seem to drain the battery too hard, I can't really recommend playing this game with the graphic options at max if you're not near a charger of some sort. And those graphic options, they're pretty welcome in this game because with a little bit of tweaking, I was able to run this on my old iPhone 6 with almost no slowdown. Side note, it's kind of weird talking about graphics options on a mobile game as if it were a PC, but I guess that shows how far pocket gaming has come since Doodle Jump or those horrible Mafia games. The touchscreen controls are incredibly intuitive and easy to navigate. I never once found myself overreaching or tapping the wrong thing on this game. It just feels right. And the button placement is perfect, which obviously is pretty important with a game like this, so bravo on Tencent for making that happen. I'm curious how this will work on the Switch when docked, but right now with the touchscreen on my phone, the game feels great, which most mobile games with less happening on the screen still can't seem to figure out. All the characters are fun to try out, and after about 40 hours in game, I've never felt like I was totally unmatched. Arena of Valor just feels fair, and when I lose, I don't feel like I wasted my time because the typical match only runs about 10 to 15 minutes at the most. Tencent went out of their way to make sure this MOBA is all about speed and being able to jump in and play a game with little amount of time as possible. And to be honest, that's one of the reasons why Arena of Valor is so good. MOBAs are fun, but I'm a busy person, and I can't dedicate hours of my little free time into learning the nuances of each character and what lane I need to run them down and when I should jungle and everything like that. So having a sped up experience that still has a ton of depth and difficulty makes this something I can see myself playing for a long time coming. And quite frankly, I can't say the same thing about many games these days. It's worth checking out. Arena of Valor is currently free on iOS and Android, as well as coming to the Nintendo Switch in the near future.